Barca fans, we owe Atletico Madrid a beer. After Saturday's poor performance, I don't know what Flick was doing sitting 5 players, but after that whole nightmare, we all thought Real Madrid would probably beat Atletico and sit 1 point behind Barcelona. Well, Atletico scores in like the 95th minute. Correa, thank you so much, draws the match, and now Barcelona sits 3 points ahead of Real Madrid still. So thank you so much, Atletico. We owe you guys, and hopefully Barcelona can continue to win and keep this gap between Real Madrid. But what I want to cover in this video is the La Liga title race, which in my opinion is probably going to be one of the tightest races we've seen in La Liga over the last several seasons, but more importantly, why I actually think this is Barcelona's title race to lose this season, and this is what has to actually happen in order for Barcelona to win. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the GRETT show. I'm GRETT. If you guys are new to the channel, what's up, and thank you guys for tuning into this video today. If you guys aren't new, welcome back, everyone. Thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate all the support. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Now let's jump in and discuss everything going on with this title race and what we can expect from Barcelona this season. I think this definitely is the tightest title race we've seen in several years. And to be completely honest, obviously giving Atletico Madrid respect, they're a good club, they have some very quality players. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to give Barcelona and Real Madrid consistent enough competition where they're going to be able to stay at the top of their level week in and week out like we see from Barcelona so far and Real Madrid. I ultimately think Barcelona and Real Madrid, it's going to be pretty neck and neck for the entire part of the year. I'm sure Atletico comes out in 3rd place, but I think ultimately it's going to be Barca or Real Madrid. But I'll be honest, I think this is Barcelona's title race to lose this season. However, I think this is what actually has to happen for Barcelona in order for them to win La Liga this season. And again, before I get into it, yes, this is something that any team can say, but unfortunately, I think Barcelona has been more unfortunate than most teams and has experienced more injuries and off and on frequent injuries to some of their most important players, like Balde last season, like Gavi last season, and of course Pedri. So once Barca gets Araujo, Christensen, Frankie, and Gavi back, and obviously Olmo and Fermin Lopez, more precautionary injuries, they're going to be fine. But once they get their entire team back, if Barcelona can avoid any serious injury from any of their important players, I think Barca wins La Liga. So we're going to break down what we can expect once this team is completely healthy, especially what we can expect from some of these players once they're in the squad. Before we get into these players, I think if Barcelona, if they want to win, obviously this has to happen, but I will say they have to beat both Madrids once. They have to beat Atletico and Real Madrid. They have to beat them once, and then hopefully at least at a minimum draw. They can't afford to drop points, those teams, but at a minimum, I think they have to beat both teams at least one time. Now, when we look at the players and the team and the vision of Hansi Flick, right? When this team is back, I don't want to say they're going to be unstoppable, but what they're going to do to these teams, they're going to suffocate every single opponent, and they're going to be able to pressure and make them make mistakes, regardless if it's a team at the bottom of La Liga, the top of La Liga, in the Champions League. It doesn't matter because they have so much quality. When they're healthy and they have all their top players on the pitch, this team is competing with every single team in the world. Barcelona wants to rest their players, and obviously that's why they lost on Saturday. Not to say they couldn't have still lost if their entire team was healthy. I think it's highly unlikely. But once this team is back from injury, Hansi Flick is going to be able to rest certain players and not have to worry. I still don't think it's smart to rest 5 of your best players, or at least starting players like they did at the moment, all at once. But when everyone comes back, if Hansi Flick says, hey, I want to rest Pedri for this match, you can do that, because guess what? Dani Olmo and Rafinha can take his place and play Cam. If you want to rest Lamine Yamal, you can play Rafinha there. You can put Dani Olmo there. You can put Ferran Torres, even though I don't think he should play there. You can put Ansu Fati, Pau Victor. You have options, whereas right now, you can't really rest these players and have somebody else come in and replace them, because ultimately what we saw on Saturday, we don't really want that to happen, but we're not going to have to worry about it once all these players come back from injury. And I think the most exciting part is, for example, once Gavi and Frankie come back, they're obviously, I don't expect them to start, at least Gavi, because of the severity of the injury. He's still got to take proper precautions. But imagine this high press that Barcelona is doing every single match. and you bring on Gavi in the 70th minute, who's one of the most hardworking, chippy, frustrating players to play against, you're going to now have to deal with Gavi in the midfield, who's going to pressure you. He's going to force you to make mistakes. He's going to be chippy with you. He's going to follow you. He's going to force this team to make mistakes. He's going to bring so much energy and passion that it's going to elevate this Barcelona team. And ultimately, at the dying points in this match, hopefully this causes other teams to choke, give the ball up, and creates more opportunity for Barcelona. And this is why these players coming back from injury is going to be so important. They're going to be able to accomplish this and rotate some of these players so they have fresh players coming in off the bench towards the end of these matches, and they can still play the same way that they want to. Frenkie de Jong, I think too, when he comes back, is going to be he's still the most interesting player to me, because we know what Gavi's going to bring you, and we know what Christensen and Araujo are going to bring you. Frenkie de Jong is so skilled and quick on the ball. He's a great dribbler that in this Flick system, I think we're going to see him, instead of slowly get the ball, kind of look up the pitch, turn this way, play it back to Ter Stegen, play it sideways, play it back to Balde. He's going to actually get the ball and push up the pitch quickly and combine with Pedri, combine with Lamine Yamal, combine with Dani Olmo. They're so technical. They're going to be able to play these 1-2s and pass these teams to death and press and push so much where these teams aren't going to know how to compensate for this. And if they play the correct way and Frankie's able to play like this, he's going to be so important in this team. I just can't wait to see if this happens, because if he's healthy and his attitude is good and it looks like he wants to be here, this could be huge for the club. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of iffy on Frankie and back and forth, and they potentially want to sell him, but I do still want him to succeed, and I think he could be fantastic in this Flick system. We just got to wait and see. Now, I will say, one of my biggest concerns, and I think the biggest liability for Barcelona right now, is their defense. It's not even a question, especially with the high line. Besides Balde, you don't really have a fast defender. If Barcelona had Real Madrid's defense, if they had Mendy, Carvajal, Rudiger, Militao, all four of those players have so much pace. They're all insanely strong and athletic, and if they get beat behind, they always track back and they're able to recover. Barcelona's not able to do that. We saw Cabarsi and Dominguez get beat a few times this Saturday. Koundé is going to get beat. He's not the fastest player. When Araujo comes back, yes, hopefully he doesn't make a mistake and get another red card against PSG, but for the most part, he's going to be able to recover, and ultimately, if someone gets behind, he's going to be able to catch up to them and hopefully make a tackle and win the ball back. Whereas right now, I don't feel comfortable with anybody being able to do that, besides maybe Balde. Barcelona needs this defense to get better. Not even just from the high line and the quickness standpoint, from a marking standpoint, from an experience standpoint. You can't expect these young players like this Dominguez, if he continues to play, and then obviously Cabarsi more importantly, and then Balde, who's 20, Cabarsi's still 17. They're playing against players that are full-grown men in their 20s, late 20s, even 30s. Just from a physicality and experience standpoint, they're going to struggle, which is why you need Christensen and Araujo back. And until they get these players back, Barcelona will struggle, and I think that's going to be their biggest liability once they play these good teams. And until they get them back, that's what I'm most worried about for Barcelona, and I almost wish that Barcelona signed a right back this season, or at least kept Joao Cancelo, because in these moments, like when you play Bayern or Real Madrid, you could run Inigo Martinez or Cabarsi, and maybe Koundé could play as a center back because he's more experienced and he's a great defender, and then you could put somebody else like Joao Cancelo or somebody else on the right wing who might be a little faster. That's something that I think Barcelona maybe should look at in the future, but this defense is my biggest concern right now, and if they play like they have been, they will get exposed, because Barcelona does let up a lot of big chances, and they have so far this season. And hopefully, if Szczesny gets into form quickly and can start, hopefully this helps immensely, because I don't think Peña is going to be very beneficial, be able to save us in big matches, unfortunately. So that's something else I hope can happen. But once Barcelona gets fit and healthy, it's probably their season to lose, and they are going to look like one of the top teams in the world once this team is back healthy, due to the tactics and the way that they're going to play and the rotations that they can run. It's going to be so hard for other teams to counter this. I'm really excited to see this play out. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are down below. Do you think once all these players come back for Barcelona, do you think if they can all stay healthy, is it their season to lose? And who do you think are the most important players in this team? And what has to happen for Barcelona to win La Liga this season? Let me know your thoughts about this down below. If you guys made it this far, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys back here next time.